All right. All right, internet world, we're live somewhere.
Maybe.
YouTube hasn't told me that the video's up yet, but it says it's live over there. There are two people in the chat.
You hit the streaming?
Yeah.
You got the stream key in?
I got everything in, man. Hey, man, don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing that. It's me. As you can see, Michael. The blurred background with nobody sitting there is Lauren. I don't know where Lauren went.
I know where Lauren went. That's very weird. She waited till...
She waited till literally we got on we started streaming. I literally asked, "Are you ready?"
Lauren, you work in news. You know what time 9 o'clock is.
You know what I'm saying?
I know what time 9 o'clock is, but
but what?
I forgot.
But you forgot?
Yeah.
Okay, finally the video shows up, so it says that we're live. So hopefully there's somebody. Let's see if the chat's up. All right, guys. So we made it another week. Oh, Michael, you can see that's what I called it. The week that was and is. So, Michael, let's start with you. How you? How you? Oh, look who it is.
She has
light. I had to get some light.
You gotta get some lights.
I had to feel like a YouTuber. I was in this dark little area, you know.
Oh.
You eating too? What are you eating?
Did 9 o'clock
Spanish rice?
Did 9 o'clock sneak up on you? Is that what it is?
It was I got a lime sour cream sauce too, so we doing things up here.
Yeah, y'all doing stuff big.
Yeah.
Leroy, what's the question? What we starting? What's going on?
I was gonna say, how are you guys? How's the week been for y'all?
I mean, it's been okay on my end. Nothing major. Thanks to find people like y'all. Y'all make my job easier.
Yeah, I mean, it's been I don't know. It's been a week. Like, part of my week was a little annoying in the beginning, but then, things got better by the end of the week, and so, life was good. But, yeah, I was definitely struggling in the beginning. So, there's that.
Okay.
All right. So
Leroy?
We're not gonna talk about that.
You can't ask the question and
You're gonna ask, but then I answer the question.
It has been stressful. I don't know how I'm gonna make it every week, but I made it. It's Friday. I made it. My anniversary's tomorrow, so happy anniversary to Katie.
Okay, happy anniversary.
I got her some Chick-fil-A.
Oh yeah, I'm sticking with that.
Because we can't go to a real restaurant right now.
So you got a Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, grilled nuggets.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm stressed. But let's get to what got y'all through the week, man. Michael, what got you through the week?
I started rewatching Brooklyn Nine-Nine on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great show. I feel like the jokes on that show come fast, very quick. There's always a joke happening all the time. And as later seasons went on, they kind of hit a lot of real topics like police brutality, being shot while being black. I mean, or being arrested while being black. A lot of stuff they hit on.
Really?
In
Yes.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They hit on a lot of stuff. So Andre Brower or Bauer.
Brower.
He's on the show and he plays a black.
Oh, I know who he is. I know who.
Yeah. On the show, he plays a black gay captain, and they don't try to shy away from that.
Yeah, because he hates Kara Sedgwick on that show.
He does what?
He hates Kara Sedgwick on that show.
Yes, he does. But yeah, they talk about real stuff on that, which I think is pretty cool.
All right. Lauren, what got you through the week? What's been your joy this week?
My shows, the joy of my week was watching McMillions. And I don't know if you guys heard about this show
on HBO. Yeah.
It's the Monopoly. It's the story of the Monopoly scandal with McDonald's. And man, like it's nowhere near like as scandalous and as not scandalous, but as ridiculous as like a Tiger King.
Mm-hmm.
But it definitely was like, okay, how did they do this? This is intense, and still nobody got money other than the people that were at the top.
I watched the first 2 episodes of that, and I really liked it, but I felt like it might have been, how many episodes is it?
6.
It was 6.
6, I feel like maybe they could. It seems like they could have done it in 4.
They probably could have, but I mean, when they stopped some of the episodes, it definitely was suspenseful and made me want to watch some more. So literally, I broke it up. I'm not even gonna lie, I started watching it last night.
Oh wow, okay.
And watched all the episodes. I stayed up to like 3 a.m. and then got up this morning and I watched the last one this morning.
Okay.
So that's been fun. And then because I finished Steven Universe Future that season, I finished that season earlier in the week. I was like, you know what? Let me rewatch Steven Universe. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I was doing when y'all called me.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Instead of my work.
Correction. I just was informed my anniversary is next week. So next Saturday.
Whoa.
Katie's in the chat.
What?
I keep forgetting our anniversary.
Yeah, she definitely said it's next Saturday, boo.
It's not. I keep forgetting our anniversary is not Good Friday. It's it's the week after Easter. We got a lot going on.
Time to prepare.
Yeah. So I just found that out. Corrected live on air. Year anniversary.
And you don't know what it is. That's
Hey, the funniest thing is it can't get an annulment. She's got to get a divorce because you knew going in this is how it was. So,
you're fine.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 year down. 7 more to go. That's great.
The thing that got me through the week was Todd McFarlane. If any of you guys know who that is, he's the creator of Spawn. One of the original Image 7. He released a Kickstarter Wednesday? I want to say Wednesday. What's April the 8th? Wednesday?
April the 8th was Wednesday, yeah.
So he released a Kickstarter. He's redoing his original Spawn action figure. McFarlane Toys is the company he started. I don't know if you guys remember, he used to do NBA, MLB, NFL figures. He's done the Spawn, movie monsters. Basically, this dude has just done it all.
Yeah.
One of the coolest things I thought was when he got into making figures, he made Spawn first, and he's doing an anniversary figure of Spawn. And it was kind of like wild to see him set a Kickstarter goal of $100,000 for this figure. Each one is like $40 and there's different tiers or whatever. And he's like really doing like this prestige format. But the coolest thing was watching the Kickstarter being funded in 12 minutes. Like, he asked for $100,000 by the end of the day. When I got off the internet, he had $600,000. It's not over until May. He's probably going to get over $1 million. But it was so cool seeing this guy who started something and, like, being a comic nerd and seeing, like, the begin. Like, I still have the first issue of Spawn. And like reading it and like seeing the progression, and it was just kind of cool seeing like the community get together and like the money doesn't get drafted out of your account till next month, but seeing people say, I'm putting $160 because I want all 3 figures, or I want this figure, I want that figure, and seeing the community respond to something that's that old but still relevant was actually kind of cool. So
2 questions. What are like some of the stretch goals for his thing?
He ain't got none yet.
Okay. Also, what tier did you put in, and does Katie know what tier it is?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
She knows now.
Okay.
She knows like I know when my anniversary is. So you basically there's like a $40 tier, and you get to pick between like a modern or classic Spawn, and then you can buy like all 3 figures. You can do an artist proof for like $80 and then paint it the way ever you want to. And there's different ones. There's no stretch goals yet because he just put the thing out. And he just like added, so like it comes with different arms or hands and guns and stuff like that. So he's adding stuff on. Last time I checked, and I'll check again, last time I checked, he was probably close to $1 million. He was at 800,000 today. So that's...
Let me get Kickstarter.
I mean... Hey,
Kickstart my next life. I
mean, honestly, I'm shocked that he didn't do it when Mortal Kombat the download when Spawn was on when you and Avery did the video.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't do it then, but it was just happy to see all these people like celebrate and be like, yo, I want one. He talked about this prestige format. It's like a $40 figure. It comes with a stand, a box. He's redoing a comic for it. I mean, he's like, it really kind of was like a love letter to the fans, so to speak. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I just kickstarted a board game.
You made one
last week.
Or you paid for one?
I paid for
Oh, okay.
Oh, but I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like yeah, what?
No, I put money into a Kickstarter for a board game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
It's a game called Moonshine Empire. It's about running bootleg moonshine across the map. Seems kind of fun.
Perfect.
That sounds like something I would want to do in real life.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
That sounds cool. I mean, that's how NASCAR got started. Oh, he does have a stretch goal. Updated today.
When is it?
I stand corrected. 8,231 backers. He's already at $1 million. 27 days to go. So, if y'all want to jump in on this, head over to Kickstarter. Just type in Kickstarter Spawn. Jump on in.
S to the E to the A to the on.
All right, so that's our joy for the week. So where y'all want to start? Y'all want to start with movies? Or you want to start with PS5? Which y'all want to do? Because with PS5, all I got is questions. Michael, you the expert.
When does it come out?
What do you say, Lauren?
I said, when does it come out?
We don't know. Next question. Watch this, Lauren. How much does it cost, Michael?
We don't know.
We know what it looks like yet? I know they released
We don't know.
Didn't they release the controller or something?
Yeah, they released the controller. That's it.
So, Michael, go ahead and go into that story and explain for those people.
Okay. So, in the ongoing console war between all the systems and console manufacturers, the recent, I guess, salvo was inspired by Sony by releasing a photo of their controller on PlayStation Blog. It's like 3 different photos they released. It's a mainly white controller with a black undertone under it, 2-tone colored controller. Looks similar to a DualShock 4, but maybe it's a little more rounded than the DualShock 4, and maybe a little fatter in places. Also, it's not called the DualShock anymore. Now it's called the DualSense, which is really supposed to get into this idea of you being immersed in a game and having touch and haptic feedback with your games that you play.
Interesting.
Yes. Some of the bigger features on it, it has a built-in microphone, which would be great for group chats and stuff like that, supposedly. Also, that microphone, I would assume, also would have a speaker, I would think, because that was in the DualShock 4. It has adaptive triggers, and the example that they always use whenever they talk about the adaptive triggers is the tension in the triggers will change depending on what action you're doing. So, like maybe if you're pulling back a bow and arrow, the trigger will be a little bit harder to pull back, like you're actually pulling back the arrow, or pulling back the string to loose the arrow, I should say. It has a PS5 create button. On the PS4, the DualShock, it had the share button. They got rid of the share button. Now they have the create button. My educated guess is that's probably a combination of share and create, where once you hit that button, it'll probably open up some type of editing software where you can actually upload whatever clip or something from a video game you just did up to Twitter or all your social media stuff.
Or Twitch.
Yeah, whatever social media you want to do. And then the big thing is haptic feedback, which is supposed to really make, respond to your touch to different games. It's a big thing in virtual reality. I don't know if it's that big in non-virtual reality right now.
How does that work?
So in virtual reality, with like whatever the hand controller you have is, maybe there's more resistance or tension with if you're holding a gun or holding a piece, some type of item. If it's a little bit heavier, you might have more resistance in your hand controllers if something compared to something that's light. Or like when you're pushing a door in the Half-Life game for VR, it's a little bit harder to push than if you're pushing something else open because there's more resistance to that door. So it feels like you're actually opening a door and stuff like that.
I want to know if I remember, and this is random, but I wanted to know if I remember when the PS2 came out. And like originally, like the original PlayStation, silver or gray or whatever, and it was like just flip the top up, put the CD in, and whatever. And
Yeah.
didn't the PS2 flip on its side and
mean that-
stand up? You could stand it up.
Yeah, and everybody thought that was crazy.
It was a big deal, but then I feel like your disc started kind of skipping a little bit.
There were reports of the disc being getting scratched by sitting it up vertical.
Yeah.
Sony didn't really talk about that part too much.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, so what? And so everything else has since been nah, go ahead, lay this down. But yeah, PS2 was
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand it up. It's just we don't need this. We really don't need this. So I wonder if they're gonna bring back the stand up.
Well,
ever since the PS2, you've been able to stand up your console sideways. You could with the PS3 as well. I don't know if you can with the PS4. Could you?
But especially now that disc,
You could, but
you don't really you don't have that worry anymore about your disc being jacked up.
Yeah.
I mean, all of you can stand up. It's just a matter of would you stand it up and how does it look? I mean, I don't stand up my PS4. I remember I worked at
most entertainment systems aren't built to have stuff vertically. It's built to have stuff horizontally too.
And
so that's a big thing.
Which is interesting considering the new Xbox is up and down. And
yeah, it's vertical. But you can. They have since said it can also go horizontal as well.
True, but I guess all the advertisements you see it looks like a computer tower. The PS5, like you said, Lauren, we don't know what it looks like. We don't know how much it costs. We don't know
a brick.
we don't know anything. Michael talks about. Go ahead, Michael.
I was going to say Sony and Microsoft have both said their systems are supposed to come out holiday 2020, and they have both said that the COVID issue has not affected, so far it hasn't affected their supply chain. So they're
lies.
2020. Don't know.
They're lying.
I'm calling BS right now.
COVID literally affected everything in the world. You can't tell me that PS5 is not going to be affected by that. Who's making it? Okay.
COVID.
So y'all need to.
I think the issue could be it will release in 2020. It's just going to be extremely hard to get because they can't make as many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means it's going to be more expensive because we're only putting out 10. If somebody's going to stand in line, if there is a Best Buy left, somebody's going to stand in line outside of Best Buy.
I mean,
3 days before this.
I mean, if we're looking at it right now, somebody put in there, I think it was Damien Estrada, he said no more like Nintendo Wii. Right now, you can't find a Switch. The only Switches that you can find right now are Switch Lites. And if you want a Switch bundle, you're going to pay more money because GameStop has a bundle that's right around $400 or $500. So I don't see. I'm interested to see if this comes out. I told Michael I don't know if this is actually coming out this year, either one of them, because I feel like Nintendo's sitting good. They're making money hand over fist, especially after Animal Crossing just came out.
Oh, everybody's been talking about Animal Crossing. One of my friends even asked me if I've downloaded it yet, and I was like, not yet, but I guess I need to do that.
But
does your friend know you don't have a Nintendo Switch?
You
need a Nintendo Switch for Animal.
Multi-platform?
No, it's only on Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
I think it was multi. That's why I don't have it. Why do I think it was multi-platform?
Nope.
I don't know.
Nintendo not giving that game out.
App. I thought it was more of like an app than a.
Nope.
Nah, it's a full-fledged game. $59.99. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah. Yeah. So I honestly told Michael, I said I don't know if either one of these systems are coming out. I mean, I still think that they may be early 2021. That's just me. But Michael brought up a good point when we were talking earlier. Michael said that whoever wins the previous console war usually F's up the next generation. So Microsoft pretty much lost the Xbox One fight to PS4, and they seem to be a little better prepared for the next generation. The previous
their marketing has been more. They've been more out in their marketing, at least for. I mean, just in terms of getting the message out, I feel like we definitely know more about the Xbox than we do the PS5.
Yeah.
Because we at least know what it looks like.
Yeah.
I just got questions. I thought the controller looked cool. I thought a lot of the mock-ups for the new controller look cool. I don't know if you've seen, some people have been making like red and blue for Spider-Man. Some people have been doing a couple, you know, so to me the controller looks cool. But again, I need to know what the system is like and I need to know how much it costs. Because if I can't remember my anniversary, I'm not getting 2 systems. Just being honest.
Yeah. Do better.
I don't know if I can. So that's the PS5 talk. We got that out of the way. So the big thing that I think that came out for me, I think a lot of people aren't paying attention to, is AMC is probably going to file for bankruptcy. And
yeah,
I know a lot of people have got jokes. I know a lot of people are laughing because, you know, Skittles was $37. You know, a large soda was, you know, a thing of plasma and your firstborn. If you go to an IMAX, you know, it's a car loan. I understand that, but a big problem with IMAX, or not IMAX, with AMC possibly filing for bankruptcy means you only have one major retailer who's providing you with movies. So if you thought those prices were outrageous before when there were 2 of them,
yeah,
how much you think Mike and Ike's is going to be now when it's just Regal running shop and Regal saying, where you go?
I'm curious because, like, in 2012, AMC got bought by a major China conglomerate.
Correct.
Like Dalen Walda or some weird name. I don't know what the name is, but they got bought by them. And it's just weird because AMC is the largest U.S. theater chain. And it's weird that they're having issues, but they don't appear to be having issues. So I wonder, like, how the management strategy worked between the 2 movie chains so that Regal's able to stay afloat during this time where AMC's having issues.
Well, so I'm reading this from the New York Post right now. They just filed this report a couple of hours ago. Lisa Feckenshire and Alexandra Steigard. The nation's largest movie theater chain, whose cinema houses have been shuttered nationwide since mid-March because the coronavirus, is in talks to hire law firm Weil, Gostall, and Mangus to explore a potential Chapter 11 filing. Supposedly this is head up by star lawyer Ray Schrock, and supposedly according to this article, this is the quote, you don't hire Ray unless you are filing, the source says. You're not going to hire Ray. You're not going to hire them at their hourly rate to have a beer with them. So it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that they're going to file Chapter 11. It says also AMC shuttered its 630 U.S. theaters on March 17th and furloughed 25,000 workers.
Yeah.
So
there was a big deal because they also furloughed their corporate people and the CEO.
Correct.
Yeah.
So one of the things that they talked about was a lot of these AMC's theater chains are located in malls. So even with malls being closed and then being reopened, theater chains will probably be the last to be open because you have to sit in close proximity with a bunch of people. I don't think this is, in my personal opinion, I don't think it's a good thing. Only because we've only had 2 major chains with a bunch of little smaller chains, and the prices were already expensive to go to the movies. I think it was Rayshawn K.
Do you think the AMC is going to try to get in on this streaming, paying to stream?
No, I mean...
Or so?
Well, AMC does have an AMC on demand. They have their own little streaming thing. It's not as intense like as a Netflix or a Hulu, but they have their own account where you can buy movies with them. Case in point, I got an email from them a couple weeks ago with the download code for Bad Boys 1 and Bad Boys 2.
Yeah.
Through the AMC on demand.
I mean,
my only thing with like the streaming, it seems to be more expensive than a single ticket because it's like you could have a room full of people in there.
Yeah.
And so that's like, if I'm at home, like I still want to see Invisible Man, and I haven't been able to see it yet. I don't want to pay $16 for it yet. I haven't found it online. Otherwise, I don't know if I can say that. But I just, in terms of me being at home alone, or if it's 2 people, whatever, it just seems like it's still kind of a steep price for the stream. And I don't know how long you have it. Like if it's like you watch it it is only available for 24 hours once you start or something like that.
I think that the newer movies, I think you have a little bit more time. I think it's 3 days. So like The Hunt, Bloodshot, you can stream them for a little bit longer. But this is the problem with AMC. This is the big problem a lot of people don't understand with streaming and the problem with movie theaters. Let's take Warner Brothers, for example. One of their biggest tentpoles is going to be Wonder Woman this year. Wonder Woman ain't coming to streaming. They're not paying $200 million for you to spend $20 to put it out on a streaming service. It ain't coming.
Yeah.
It ain't coming to HBO Max. It's coming to a movie theater. And if you only have and if you only have one theater chain who can dominate and set prices to whatever they want, that's not a good for us as movie viewers going out. And like I brought up before, Rayshawn K, I will bring him up because we know he talks about being a stay-at-home dad. His wife works. He's got kids. Imagine for a family of 4 going to a movie theater and there's only one theater in town. And those ticket prices are $15 to $20 per person because that's what they can charge.
That's gonna be about $1,000.
So, I mean, you that's a grip just to go see it. Think about how many movies Disney came out with last year. And it's AMC going under is not great for us as moviegoers because the movie-going experience to me is one of those things where, Michael, you talked about, Lauren, you talked about it, going to see movies with a bunch of people is different than just watching something at home on your couch. It's an experience. Like, remember we went to go see Endgame or Infinity War when we were all in the theater together. Look at Lauren's face. But I mean, it's an experience you share with other people. You don't get that same experience watching that movie at home. So I don't think it's to me personally, I don't think it's a good thing.
For sure, no.
Trolls 2 is only 48 hours, so that's a new movie.
Yeah.
So.
Zaylen Maru brought up that no joke to me, AMC going under is end of theaters for me. So, question Zaylen Maru, if you can let us know in the chat, why is that the end of theaters for you? Like, do you not like Regal, or is that the only theater chain available? So you've questioned about that.
Well,
can I just say that Regal, to me, has the best popcorn. It might take them forever to get your popcorn to you, but it has the best popcorn. At least the Regal theater that I go to, they take their time. It can be a line out the door, and they still over there like, here you go. And what, do you want butter on that? I got a movie in 5 minutes. So it's like previews are going on right now. So I mean, I love Regal for the popcorn, and for mainly their theaters are pretty cool. AMC did update their theaters though, so they're the ones that have the reclining seats and everything. So maybe they put too much money in those reclining seats and should have been holding on to it for the end of the world.
But I will say this, AMC, and another thing a lot of people aren't really paying attention to is that less movie theaters means less smaller movies. So when we did the Parasite trailer last year. Parasite didn't come to Columbia. And I know this is Columbia, South Carolina. We're not New York. We're not LA. But we're still a capital city. We didn't get Parasite to the movie theaters until it was nominated for an Oscar. So imagine if you're in a smaller city or if you're in a town, imagine not having that theater that doesn't have those opportunities to see an Uncut Gems, a Parasite, those smaller movies, the A24's films. Because imagine this, if you're a theater chain, you're Regal. Am I going to stock the next big Disney blockbuster, or am I going to have a couple of screens for Waves, the last black man from San Francisco, or Hereditary, Midsummer? Are you going to stock those, or us, Get Out, or are you going to have 37 screens with Black Widow? What's going to make you more money? So for a movie theater experience, for those smaller films, having AMC close is really going to cut off theater experience for a lot of people who are not in those major cities. Because again, we saw Parasite, me and my wife watched it at home after we rented it because we just couldn't make those times. Because Michael, you saw it with the whole bundle of, you see these
the Oscar movies.
But that movie was out for months before that. So, and again, we're Columbia, South Carolina. It's a capital city. And we didn't even get that movie until earlier this year. So imagine if you're like,
Hulu has it now, so I'm about to watch it on Hulu.
but that's what I'm saying. Like Hulu has it now, but not having these movie theaters is going to kill some of these smaller films. Like we watched the Green Knight trailer. Are we gonna see the Green Knight in movie theaters? It'll be in there 1 week. So your smaller theater chains, like AMC, even though it is the largest theater chain, may end up being a small art house movie theater chain. And let's be honest, somebody brought up Disney. Disney ain't exactly playing nice with movie theater chains either. So to me personally, I don't think it's a good idea. But we'll see how this all shakes out. Somebody in the chat, I want to say, Ryan Porter brought up, bro, these days are over. It's a brave new world. With this whole COVID-19, there's a lot of things changing that are not going back the way it used to be. It just, somebody else brought up in the chat, they're not even going to the movie theaters at least until a month after they declare and open businesses back up.
Yeah, no, I ain't going nowhere.
So, Ryan Porter brought up, personally speaking, I've been rocking with Voodoo and I've been straight. So you're going to see a lot more people staying home paying $10, $20 to watch a movie because they don't want the chance going back out to the theater and sitting next to somebody. Yep. And how many people, like honestly, how many people go buy a seat next to them just so somebody can't sit there?
I won't, but I guess some people will.
I mean, you and your wife go out, instead of buying 2 tickets, some people go buy 4. Because I'm going to have one on this side and one on that side.
That's petty.
But, I mean, people go do it. People bought up all the toilet paper. So, I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
that wraps up movies for us. So,
hold on. I wanted to bring up, before we
go ahead.
end on the movies, I wanted to bring up one thing that we don't have in Columbia. Pretty much all we have are the Regals and the AMCs, and then whatever that St. Andrews movie is.
The dollar movie, yeah.
Yeah. Somebody brought up in chat, I'm trying to figure out who I'm trying to bring up. They were talking about a lot of places will have other chains like Cinemark and UA Theaters. So I don't know if that opens the door for maybe Cinemark or UA Theaters to try and expand their reach if AMC goes down. Also,
Spotlight.
You say what?
Who owns the Spotlight Theater?
I don't know.
I don't know,
question.
but it's...
I don't know. It might be independent.
It might be because...
They have a couple of...
nice movie theaters, yeah. Because when I go home to Ohio with Katie, there's a couple of nice movie theater chains that are not owned by Regal or AMC, but I've never seen them anywhere else. I've only seen them in Ohio, and I think it's Star something.
It might just be Spotlight Cinemas.
I don't know if it's Spotlight, but it's very nice. Like it's very high sedity. I can't remember where it is, but it's a couple of them all over Ohio, because that's where we went and saw Mr. Rogers, Tom Hanks.
And I wonder if theaters may go with the quote high sedity route of giving you a better experience. I was telling you about the Studio Movie Grill, where they have nice spacious seats. They're not many. Yeah, it's not many seats, but you get your food brought to you. They have a nice menu, and I don't know who designed it, but you don't hear, because one thing I thought I would hear other people eating their food. You really don't hear people eating their food. The way they have it set up, it's very nice. So I don't know if theater chains start doing that.
That and the Movie Tavern. The Movie Tavern is actually where my mom wants to retire and work so she can collect tickets.
She just want to work someplace she ain't got to pay for movies. That's all it is.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
Like, oh, you want to see that?
Yeah.
I saw that earlier today.
She just want to be that lady when you like, hey, I just saw this movie. She's like, I saw it last week.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, I think that's a good point, Michael. Like the whole personalized experience, like movie theater chains like the Alamo Drafthouse, like movie theater chains like that, we see more of these targeted, or like the Nickelodeon, where we see these targeted movie theaters for like a curated experience, where they bring you a beer, or you press a button and it's like, your steak tartare. So
Right.
Also, the Nickelodeon is like they fundraise, so people who buy into the Nickelodeon get special, special treatment, special screenings for them, and things
Yeah.
like that. So maybe it's like, okay, I own this theater with you, and we're gonna keep this running because we know this is important to have. So
Like a co-op or something, yeah.
There it goes.
Yeah.
well, go ahead, because
What's the thing? So I don't know if you guys saw that Apple has now given some of their streaming stuff is free.
really,
On Apple TV Plus, like 8 of their shows, it just came out today, but like 8 of the shows on Apple TV Plus are now streaming for free.
which ones?
I don't know. IGN has
already been out.
Yeah, it's stuff that's already been out. But eight of their shows are streaming right now for free that you can watch on the app without paying for anything, and it's a full series.
Well, HBO's did that last week. They a lot of their older shows are free. CBS All Access has been free for a little while. So you're starting to see more people jump in on this whole streaming thing because, let's be honest, network television hadn't exactly been the greatest. But I will warn you, when this all gets back to normal, be prepared to see a lot of trash reality TV shows because they're cheap and easy to make.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So did you guys see Servant on Apple TV Plus?
No, not yet. That's the
I don't have Apple TV Plus.
Or whatever it is. It's the Apple TV.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I'm just saying I don't have it.
Yeah.
Apple Plus. What is the name of the streaming service?
Apple Plus.
Apple TV Plus.
I thought it was Apple
Okay.
Plus.
I think there's a TV in there as well.
You say so.
Servant is one of the free shows. And
Okay.
I watched it when it came out, and it was M. Night. It was good enough. But, yeah.
That's what every creative person wants to hear. It's good enough.
Yeah. Oh, to give y'all an update on my getting my movies from Regal, I finally got a code for Charlie's Angels and Jumanji, and then next month I'm going to get a code for Bad Boys and Bloodshot. So good job, Regal.
So they're giving you digital codes for movies you've already seen?
Yeah. So the idea is that if you see the movies in theaters, they'll give you digital codes when they come out for free. Or not for free, but you don't have to buy them again.
Yeah.
So it kind of works out to be cheaper. Because I'll just pay for like the matinee price for it, and then instead of paying like $10 or $15 for the digital release, I just get the code.
Okay.
Yeah.
That worked.
Yeah. A lot of people in the chat are bringing up that the movie theater experience has been trash lately. And with high ticket prices, a lot of people are like, I can see why they don't have enough money on hand to sustain themselves after a shutdown. I see both sides of it. I just know as a movie-going person, it's not a good thing when one of your largest chains can't sustain themselves. But hey, maybe they should have budgeted better. Isn't that what they always tell us? You should always have enough money prepared for being out of work for 3 months. So as a company, maybe you should have had enough money on hand to be prepared to be shut down for 3 months.
That's
And
true.
one thing that we've said in all this, even if they file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, it doesn't mean that they're completely gone yet.
No, it just probably means
That
that
just kind of that restarts your debts and stuff. But
And probably what happened, the New York Post article was talking about. So there's another article on Variety, which means a lot of their theaters will be sold, and layoffs will come, and then that'll just open the door for somebody else to gobble them up. So maybe this is an opportunity for Spotlight to buy more movie theaters, or Alamo Drafthouse to be like, you know what, this is a cool town, like Asheville. AMC goes belly up in Asheville, and Alamo Drafthouse is like, yo, this is a cool little town like Austin. Let's buy up a theater chain, and let's, bring our little, however we handle things over here.
right.
IMAX, Disney, they've eased the rules. IMAX brought up Disney could buy AMC. That's a possibility, but it's not yet. They have eased the rules that allows a movie studio to buy a theater chain, because that was illegal in the past. But now through this current administration has eased those rules, because basically they didn't want a theater to be owned by a studio who then sets their own prices and cuts other theater chains out of the deal. So if Disney owned their own theater chain, Disney could easily say, we're showing Mulan first week, you'll get it in a week 2. And when you get it, you have to put it on this many screens right now. So it's a possibility. I don't see it happening, but it is a possibility. But
Yeah.
so I put in the whatever, what do you call this thing? The stream, press play?
The description? I don't know. What are you talking about?
Oh, so I put in there every question a gamer has asked themselves or somebody asked themselves, if you could wipe your memory and do something over again to get that joy, what would it be? If it was a game, a movie, or a TV show, what would you wipe your memory to get to re-experience that joy that you felt or that pain you felt, whatever it was, what would it be? So Lauren, we're going to start with you. I'm going to do an easy one, Lauren. What movie would you love to see over again to get that experience? So what?
I said for the first time, I want to go back and see Black Panther. And I know, Michael, you're going to be like, or whatever, because it's not your favorite.
Yes, here are my stance. It is a great movie. It's not a good superhero movie. That's all.
Okay. And that's why I said you was going to say, But the reason why I enjoyed, because I saw it twice in theaters, the reason why I enjoyed this movie so much was because I had no clue what I was going to run into. I didn't know. I knew that Black Panther was a part of the MCU, but I did not know his story for real. And seeing that movie on screen, the colors, the people, just the magic associated with
the colors,
the people,
yeah,
associated with it, I just felt like I walked out of there like, whoa, with so many emotions. I think I cried during it. I was, cracking up. I was like, ooh, all this stuff. And I felt like this could be a place. Wakanda is real in my heart. And when I saw it the second time, I was like, man, it's not as magical, but it was so great. But I swear, like, seeing it in the movie theater with so many people who had no clue what Marvel even was, but were just there. Sometimes I was like, maybe I should have went, early in the morning with, like, the nerd folks, because it would have been quieter. But just seeing, being there in that movie theater with so many people that just had no clue what they were walking into, but knew that this was going to be a moment, it was really cool to be there and to witness that. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but Black Panther to me was a jewel, and I wish I could go back and watch it again for the first time.
All right, Michael. Michael, for you, what movie would you restart or wipe your memory and be like, yo?
So, and the idea is that once you do it, you're watching it back when you saw it back then, or you're watching it now?
Either way, you've never seen it. You don't know anything about it. You've never seen it. You're watching this for the very first time.
Okay, but like I'm watching it now as like a 35-year-old?
I almost said so.
It makes a difference.
What movie is it? We do a movie, so
tell me what the qualification is first.
I don't. You know what? You watch.
We were thinking this far into.
You watching it at 35 now. You are 35. You ain't never seen this. Whatever it is.
Well, you gonna find it to be trash. Rockadoodle?
Is it who? What is that?
You ain't seen Rockadoodle? Where the chickens would like do a rock and roll, and they were dressed like they were in. You what? You ain't seen Rockadoodle, son?
My mom had to check me out of the film to see, because I was like in the aisle dancing and things. She was like, "Nope, I don't want to be here anymore. Let's go."
Oh, well, you know what? If it was just any movie that I could see for the first time and experience again, it would probably be Harlem Nights.
Okay.
Like, because that movie still holds up now. Like, the idea of black excellence is exemplified in that movie. You have so many stars.
Oh yeah.
So many heavy hitters. It's still funny. It's great. It's that movie for sure.
And not and Della Reese plays so against type. Like Della Reese plays a gangster.
Touched by an angel. What is this?
Della Reese.
Della Reese plays a cursing, gun-toting.
Madam.
Talking about being honest, and all her hoes sounds.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. As a kid, I could not wrap my mind around that this is the same lady in Touched by an Angel who is like, you shot off my pinky toe? I'm gonna... My head couldn't take that. Red Fox? Oh, I give you that one.
The dynamic between Della Reese and Red Fox was amazing. Their banter between each other, it was just great.
Son, do you remember when they had a TV show together? And Red Fox, so that's how old I am. Red Fox came back to TV, had a show with Della Reese, and then he died. And everybody's like, yeah, go, oh man.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, Red Fox came back to TV after Harlem Nights. He was a little bit older. I liked it. It was good. Okay, Michael, that's a pretty, I feel you on that one. Harlem Nights. Hold on, what were you going to say if you were,
Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. That movie came out in 1995. I was in 5th grade.
Oh.
It was incredible. I was like, they're doing Mortal Kombat right now. This is great. I mean, looking back on it now, it's still campy, but I still love it. But yeah, to see it for the first time again, because, I can't remember which one came out first, Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter. Let's look it up right now. I can look it up.
Street Fighter.
It was Street Fighter movie?
Yeah.
Because that movie, and I unironically love the Street Fighter movie, even as bad as it is, because I think it's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But when that movie came out, it was so bad and trash. But Mortal Kombat, it's campy, it's hokey, but it still holds up for the most part. Yeah.
Joe Ellis already spoiled it and already picked what it was for me. Because Michael, I went back and forth between that, doing the MCU movies. I went back and forth because I thought about it's a toss up between Coming to America, Star Wars, but I think the movie I would see before anything else is Aliens. Because I had seen parts of Aliens before and seen it on TV, so I kind of already knew what the movie was. But to see it for that first time in the theater with people, and you have no idea what this movie is, that idea of this action movie, because the first one was such a horror movie, and then the second one being James Cameron, pulling out all the stops and just seeing that spectacle on screen. Yeah. For me, it's Aliens. I love the Xenomorph, and it was one of the few movies that my mom let me watch as a kid that I probably shouldn't have watched. So, and I remember being a kid in middle school or high school, in elementary school, and a friend of mine showed me.
You was writing on Stone Tablet?
I'm mad I hear that. But yeah, Aliens for me, because I remember seeing the scene where the creature, the Xenomorph, comes out of the lady, because my friend was like, yo, you seen this movie yet? I'm going to show you this one part. And for the longest, I didn't really watch the movie, because it was yo, is the whole movie like this? What is going on? And so all those tense moments were kind of lost to me at the time. So yeah, Aliens for me. Joe Ellis, good job, because that's my movie. I thought about Star Wars. But for me, Aliens, because I saw it so piecemeal, and in the early 90s and late 80s, they were playing that on TV. They were just editing things out. So it's they just really ruined that experience for me. So mine is Aliens. So Lauren, TV show.
I thought about this for a minute. I'm going to say Lost.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why, it was a toss-up between Game of Thrones and Lost for me. But the reason Lost is because I waited so long to see this show, right? So it was out when I was in high school, and all my friends would come to school the next day and were like, oh my gosh, did you see the Lost episode? Did you see Lost? And
is that how they talk?
I was one of those people I was one of those people that did not want to just watch something because everybody was watching something, And I feel like I'm sort of like that now, but then I give in very quickly now versus I waited until I graduated college and I was searching for a job before I started watching Lost. And I would get up in the morning, I would apply for a couple of jobs or whatever, and I'd just sit on the couch and watch Lost. And when I tell you, it was like a roller coaster ride. I couldn't imagine watching it and having a week to process everything and having to wait longer to see the next episode. Because to me, it was crazy. I hated the ending. The ending was trash, but the series I felt like was magical, and it took me on a journey.
Now, Michael,
I don't know how I feel.
now it's funny you said the ending was trash for you, and you watched it the same way Michael did. You streamed it after it was already out, but Michael, you didn't think the.
No, it's not that I didn't think the ending was trash. It's that I wasn't upset about it because I didn't watch it over like 6 years. I watched it over the course of a few months. So for me, I'm like, yeah, it's not great, but I wasn't upset about the whole show because I didn't spend like 6 years of my time with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I would have been pissed. If I would have waited like my entire,
Mm-hmm.
6 years to get to the ending like that.
Yeah.
I want it. Because it's funny that you two watched it the way you did. I would, like, in the chat, if you guys saw Lost when it was airing, how did you feel about the ending? Because I've heard different things from different people, but I'm always interested to hear how people who felt about that show, how the ending was. Because I got a feeling Game of Thrones is kind of going to be the same way. I give it about 5 to 10 years. I don't think the Game of Thrones ending, the people who watch it, quickly like that are not going to be that upset about the ending. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But yeah, that's interesting.
Some people, I want to go back and shout out some people who are talking about some of the stuff they would bring back for show or for movies.
Yeah.
Zaylin Maru said Matrix.
I remember where I was when I watched that. Good one.
Yeah. Another person, they were talking about saying they respected my choice for Mortal Kombat, and then somebody else said, Damon Estrada, of course, said Mortal Kombat movie equals Stadia.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's appropriate. It's not that intense, but okay. I didn't spend as much money to see Mortal Kombat as I did for the Stadia. Thank you. For TV shows, Ryan Porter said Watchmen, and then O'Keefe Robinson says Dragon Ball Z. And I can respect Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z was a big anime show, especially watching it on Toonami, the Cartoon Block and Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
I remember watching Dragon Ball Z for sure.
How'd you feel Dragon Ball Z, Kai?
Never watched it. I'm not a Dragon Ball Z fan.
I never watched Kai, but I heard it's better in the sense that it cuts down a lot of the filler episodes.
It does.
And a lot of the charging up. So it might be interesting to watch it like that. So I don't know.
It's still long. Like, it's still like there'll be a whole episode of charging up. Still.
Son.
But
Michael, you talk about chatters. O'Keefe Robinson brings up a very good point. Cosby Show, if you could wipe my brain of Bill. Son.
Brian Barrett also brought that up first. And
you did?
That's
Okay.
an interesting point. Like, how would that work?
I mean, I don't know. Just get rid of that internet search and just be like, yo, we just all agree that Cosby, he was a quiet man who just went home after work. And I mean, I don't know. Like, how do you I'll be honest with you. We watch A Different World on Amazon like every week. I watch Cosby Show, but in the back of my mind, I'm always like, Bill, did you do it after this episode? It's like, because it's like every time he comes on screen and he does something, Jello, and I'm like, did you just leave somebody's room? Like, what? Like, where were you? Where were you, Bill? Because I love Claire Huxtable. Son.
Yeah.
Claire Huxtable. Have you seen the meme of her when she's like, so you telling me y'all was at the beach? With that Claire Huxtable face.
Yeah.
She talking about Florida? Son. I love that woman. But yeah, I feel you on that one. So Michael, what's your show?
My show is a recent show, The Good Place on NBC. That was four seasons, probably like 13 episodes a season.
Yeah.
Nice, compact. I think they tell a great story. And I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. Also in the chat, you guys can try not to spoil it because it's still kind of recent.
Yeah.
But that first kind of big twist in season 1 was like, what? That was crazy. And then going back and watching it again, you're like, okay, you kind of see it's there.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like maybe they didn't have a big twist for every subsequent season, but they still had some kind of shocking reveals, which was great. that we talked about on a previous press play. The series finale made me cry. I teared up. I thought it was done very well.
I did the same.
It was great.
I got a little emotional.
Yeah, I was
I
like,
haven't made the series finale yet.
it's there's definitely character growth for all the major characters in it. They're not static characters by any means. They're definitely dynamic. For me, it would be a good place.
And they ended it before it got weird.
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's already kind of weird, but
they ended it before it got bad.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you. Yeah, you're right. Like it ended. Yeah,
it's definitely weird.
It's definitely weird, but yeah. My show, and I'm kind of like with Lauren. So my show would have. It's a toss up between these two because I own them, and it's a toss up between.
Battlestar Galactica?
And Fringe. Yeah, and Fringe.
Those are good.
The reason why I say it's a toss-up between these two because they're kind of the same for me as far as like science fiction, but the idea that I've never seen anything like that before. Battlestar Galactica as far as like being one of the few remakes or reboots that like improved upon the original to the point where you were like, this is nothing like I've seen before. Fringe, that first episode, like it's creepy, it's wild, but the twist and I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but Fringe Leonard Nimoy's character was just amazing, and since he's died, I haven't been able to go back and watch it because like when I see him, I'm like, ugh, and I see you, Brian Bear. I see you.
Because Brian Bear asked why your favorite movie
I see you.
Yes. I'm reading that in the chat too.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you and the horse you rode in on, sir.
You brought that on yourself.
I thought about it. I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it. But yeah, my shows were Battlestar Galactica and Fringe because Battlestar Galactica, there was so many, like to see James Olmos, and I cannot get his name. Sorry, it's to see these characters and
James Olmos.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
My man who plays Gaius Baltar. I mean, just
I like him.
It's just so many different people, are just amazing. And then when you take Fringe and you see, I never was one of the people who liked. What's the guy from Dawson's Creek? I never liked the show. I tried.
Tracy?
Yeah, I never got into it. I never liked it. But to see him act in this, Joshua Jackson on this show, I just was like, the show really blew my mind. Like the science behind, like in both episodes, the science behind it, I was just like, I was amazed. And if I could pick a show, it would be one of those two that I would watch again for the first time. I own the art book of the source book from the Watchers for this show. I can't talk enough about Battlestar Galactica. So that for me, those are my shows. So Lauren, back to you. Video game.
Y'all know I don't really play video games like that anymore. Well, I don't really play Sims.
Okay.
Sims 1.
But you like, you like Sims.
The first original Sims, there have been so many. There's like, Sims, Sims 2, Sims 3, Sims 4, and within all of those, there's like 18 expansion packs with all of those. And so between the original Sims and I think Sims, I think I had Sims University and Sims 3.
Yeah.
Definitely Sims 2, I had all the expansion packs for Sims 2. Like, to the point where I ruined my mom's computer twice. Because I would download so many things, like so many different, like skins and things for clothes, and somebody would put out like these pre-made houses because I hated building houses. Like, I didn't care about the house at all, or the furniture or anything. I just wanted to get to the craziness of everybody's life. And so I would download these houses, like some of the songs. Like, I just, like, Sims, I don't know. I remember sitting in our den toy room area and just playing on that computer for hours on end. And when I got my new computer here, my MacBook, I immediately downloaded Sims 4 and like bought like 2 expansion packs like the first night and stayed on the computer for 4 hours.
There's a sale on like some of the new DLC. I don't know if you saw that.
But yeah, and I was like, like, because I really don't want to feed this too much because I feel like it's a habit that I've been living with since I was like 11, you know. So
Lauren said that like she was on crack.
I don't know if anyone else
She said that right. She's like, I've been dealing with this habit.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody in the chat plays The Sims, and honestly,
I like The Sims. I play The Sims. I like it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a weird game, but I like the control aspect of it, and I like that I can create whoever I want to create and build a story around for them. So, and that's like literally the only game I truly play. Everything else I can pick up on and like have fun playing, but this is the one where I'm like I can spend hours on end, and being able to start that over again, I think would be pretty cool. Well, again, as a child, because the first Sims, I'd probably be like, these graphics suck.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, yeah, it was magical. Michael?
So, for me, I had like 2 choices. I've said it on the chat or on the stream before. Leroy knows my favorite game of all time is Chrono Trigger.
Yep.
Originally for the Super Nintendo. Awesome RPG, multiple endings made by a dream team at Squaresoft at the time. But if I had to play it again, I didn't really appreciate that game until later in life, so that wouldn't be my choice.
Really?
My choice would be Mass Effect.
Golf clap.
Game made by BioShock. It's a science fiction game. And that game really grabbed me because it had for me, I felt the pacing was very slow until maybe the second half of the game, kind of like once a major change happens for your character, and you're like, oh, this is what the game is about?
Yeah.
And it kind of kicks up, and you're like, oh, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the game is old, but I don't want to give away spoilers if you haven't played it. You should check it out. I think it's fun. If you're a fan of science fiction games, I think it does the science fiction genre pretty well. I think the sequels are great too, 2 and 3. 3, the ending's kind of but I think the journey to get there is a lot of fun. But it all starts with that first game. The major issue probably with Mass Effect are the loading screens for those elevators.
Yeah.
That sucks. But I think the story keeps you invested, especially once that twist happens a little bit.
Or the mining in your little vehicle, going to different planets and getting ore and stuff.
Here's the thing. I didn't hate that. Now I realize it's not a good gameplay mechanic, but I kind of found it like soothing.
For me, it was a little like it got to be a little tedious because I was like, "Hey man, I'm trying to fight. I'm trying to save the universe.
Right?
Why do I need to find chromagnesium or whatever it was?" And it's like, why is it only one spot on this planet? Shouldn't there be more? I don't know. It was just in my head.
It makes sense.
So, some people in the chat brought up the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Fallout 3, Crash Bandicoot,
good too.
Command and Conquer Generals. Brian Barrett says yes, Mass Effect. Antoine Allen says Metal Gear Solid 2. Loved it back then. For me, it's a toss-up between. For me, it was System Shock. It was really one of the games. Doom 3 kinda had some of those elements a little bit. Not the latest one, but Dead Space kind of had it too. But that whole idea of putting in a disc and just not knowing what the hell you're doing, like not understanding, like a lot of people talk about it's the grandfather of like all these special effects or like how storytelling is done. It really it scared me. It made me think about artificial intelligence differently. All these games that you see now, and honestly, it's kind of weird because everybody's so excited for System Shock 3, and I'm like, how are they going to do what they did in the past? This whole idea of an evil AI, corporations. You know, I still remember playing that game, landing on this ship and not knowing what the hell is going on. And it's been a while since I've had that experience where you're just like, yeah, I need to stop playing this game for a little while because this is getting a little bit too real for me, and walking away. It's like, it's been a while since I've had that experience, so I really miss that. I'm kind of hoping Cyberpunk gives me that.
You mean in like 5 years?
Oh, yeah.
Lauren, you were saying? Somebody rudely interrupted you.
No, I was saying, can we talk about graphics? I want to just bring back, like, NBA Live.
He's on fire!
On PS1. And I used to watch, so my mom is a big gamer in terms of, like, NBA and, like, she does 2K, she does 2K now, but she was doing Fight Night a lot. But yeah, so anyway, I always watched her. So I would be on the computer playing Sims while she was on PlayStation, whichever one she was on, playing, any kind of basketball game or whatever. And I would always make fun of her people because they had hands like this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And they shot the ball like this.
Yeah, no digits.
And then one day I looked over at her and they were sweating. They had fingers, okay? And like they had perspiration and they looked tired and things like that. And I was like, Mom, what's going on? Shit, I don't know. Like, I got a new NBA Live. I think it might have been 2000 or something like that. But it kind of changed my view of the basketball games and like the sports games and the games in general, because I was so used to seeing, just one way. Because I really didn't play a lot of video games when I was a kid. I mean, I had cousins who would be on 64 like all the time, and I would jump in for 007, but then would be like, I'm scared, and would jump out or get shot up. And the same with Smash Brothers. Like, I get killed immediately, and so I was just like, I don't want to play this game, and I quit, and go do something else. But I always thought it was interesting to see, the progression in graphic design, like the graphics with games, and how everything looks super realistic now compared to. But I've always been impressed with that. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if you guys have always been impressed with it, but
because I think NBA 2K, the new DLC, has you being able to move LeBron's hairline back and forth.
That might be a feature.
I think that's in manager mode. You can move the hairline back and forth.
You know, he got a unit now.
Yeah.
He got that man weave.
Yep. I mean, when you got money like that.
Why not?
Yeah, I saw this question online, and people were like, what if you could replay a game? And Brian Barrett says, going to talk about Last of Us 2. I almost mentioned Last of Us if I could play that again, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know if I could go through that again. The Last of Us, that's a personal. Woo! I had to put the controller down, like, for different reasons. Like, that got a little too close to home. We're just, I don't know. So I'm don't get me wrong. I'm buying Last of Us 2, but there's gonna be a lot of Disney movies in the middle of me playing that game, because I know I'm gonna have to put the controller down and be like, ooh, let me go outside and play with the dog. But
yeah.
Some people brought up Space Dandy. Streets of Rage on Genesis.
And all of these games, they follow a storyline.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a main storyline. So, like, I never got into the storyline parts of the games. I would do, like, the free, if it was a Mortal Kombat game, I'd do, like, the free fight. Because I tried to do the whole, let me start at the bottom and work my way up through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I get frustrated so quickly with failure, right? Because I'm gonna fail these levels, and instead of me saying like, okay, let me go and figure out the cheats and like figure out, or not the cheats, but like figure out the moves, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna do something that I can.
Lauren, I'm gonna be honest with you. I know your pain, because I have rage quit a game before. I've literally just threw the controller down, walked out.
And I'm like, I don't want to be that mad.
I have literally rage quit a game before and been like, nope, I'm out. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I get this stuff. Oh, what'd you say?
No, I was bringing up because you talk about games, but also Ryan Porter brought up. Nobody mentioned The Wire as a show.
I think they did, somebody did before. But I'm still watching The Wire. I'm only on season 2 of The Wire. And I know that my car is about to be revoked.
Oh, you know, we coming for you. Because some other things you said.
I'm only on season 2 of The Wire. And I'm like, I want to keep watching it, but there's so many other shows I can watch right now. So I'm just like, I'll wait.
Idris Elba sealed it as one of the greatest actors of all time for me on that show.
I watched his interview. He did an interview recently about that show and said something along the lines of how he was supposed. They weren't trying to cast anybody from Great Britain or like from overseas because they needed somebody that was like from the hood, like or understood that whole like hood mentality. And they didn't want nobody from the UK. Yeah. And I think it's like his manager or somebody that knew the casting director was like told Idris Elba, okay, go in there with an American accent, like don't let them know that you're from the UK. And they found out, later, but he had already gotten the role.
Son, when Idris Elba spoke for the first time with his real accent, I literally was the SpongeBob meme like, you not Stringer Bell in real life? Like, son, when he said, are you taking notes in a criminal conspiracy? I lost it. I was like, son, Idris Elba is the greatest.
So, listening to him now, I can hear a little bit of his accent.
Yep.
Like, of his, native accent.
Yeah. Antoine Allen asked if I don't know if he's talking to the chat or us, have we played Cuphead? Yes, Antoine. Played Cuphead, love it a lot. Waiting for that new DLC, Tasty Morsel, to come out. Cuphead's a great game. It's on Xbox One and Switch now. Good, very good game.
Yeah, IMAX says, never seen The Wire, puts on flame suit.
I mean...
Yo, I told my wife when we were sitting down one day and we were talking and we were just talking about shows and she said, I have not finished The Wire. She was like, that's the first time I had doubt in our relationship. Because I was like, I'm not like, son, The Wire is that much to me. The season with the kids and they go to school and you see the kids of like drug dealers and how they deal with it. Son, when they killed Wallace in season 1, aka Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, I cried a little bit there.
Son.
But they had so many people in that.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. The Wire is my show. So there's certain shows that I'm like, I don't know if I can go through that kind of heartbreak again.
So you want me to go through it?
Yeah, so we can talk about it.
I like how they're switching up the intros every season.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me know when you get to season 5. That's the deals with the media.
Or whatever they say.
But yeah.
Good times.
Yeah. So it's our chats come to an end, guys. Our shows come to an end. It's about 10:15. Lauren's got to get back to doing whatever Lauren does on Friday nights. And Michael and me have to get.
I'm done.
Hey, some of us have to get back to work to do an 11 o'clock show. Man. So we're gonna say thank you guys. We're gonna keep doing this every week. Do our best to entertain you guys through this emotional, destructive, out of control new normal that this is. That we all working from home. Just so you know, Michael brought up some people are releasing shows that you can watch. So Apple TV, CBS All Access, HBO. Those are the ones. So if you're looking for some new stuff to do or new stuff to watch, check out those shows. Also, if you're working from home, Marvel and DC has released screenshots so you can change your background if you're teleconferencing. So you can put those backgrounds in. You can be from Asgard, Fortress of Solitude, you name it. They got it back there. So I want to give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Ken from Chicago, Zayla Monroe, Damien Estrada, Antoine L, IMAX. Michael, if I missed somebody, let me know. Ryan Porter.
The Wire is on the free HBO.
Yes, thank you, Lauren. You're right.
You can watch The Wire for everybody who has not seen it.
Yeah. So you can be like Lauren and catch up. Keith Robinson. Hold on, Michael. I missed some people. My computer's acting up. Jump in there.
Kid from
I'm
Chicago.
ready, Seth.
jumped on.
Joe Ellis. The computer's acting up, Michael. You're supposed to be watching me. You're supposed to be the brains behind this operation.
Sir, I still got a show to finish.
Nobody care about that show. David Cooper.
You said Boundless Book Owl?
Oh, I did not. Good looking out.
IMAX?
Brian Barrett. Did I say David Cooper?
You just did now.
All right, David Cooper.
Zaylen Maru?
Zaylen Maru.
Brian, you said Brian Porter?
Yes, I did. Yes, sir.
Edward Sanchez?
Edward Sanchez Productions. So I want
That's
to
everybody
want to say thank you guys for joining us. We're gonna try to do these things every week, but hopefully next week I'll remember my anniversary, so I won't have my wife correct me on the chat.
Wow! Shout out to Katie for being on the chat too.
So, shout out to Katie for keeping me straight. I think that's it. I think we out. Be safe.
Where can they find us?
Oh.
Tell us where they can find us.
Yeah, so you can, of course, find us here, WOTX.com, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Anyplace else? Is that it?
That's it. And hit the little notification button.
Oh, yeah, hit the notification and the bell, so when we have new videos up, you can see them. I think that's it. All right, guys, we're out. I'm going to hit the stream.